Kojo. We are here today at the CPN Eagle Aviary to interview the manager of the aviary, Jennifer Randell, in preparation for the first ever release of a bald eagle from this aviary. Jennifer, how did the eagle come to be at the CPN Eagle Aviary, and where did she come from?
She originally came from the Florida Audubon Society. She was a nestling found close to her nest site, assuming probably fell out of the nest on her first flight. As we observed her, and being so young, being only 5 or 6 months old, she literally learned to fly here at our aviary. So not only did she learn to fly, she also started getting flight feathers back in. She had a slight fracture on her left wingtip and was missing a lot of her primary feathers, which, they can't fly without those primary feathers. They're just going to go in a circle. Mm-hmm. So as we did vet checks and caught her up on a regular basis, those feathers started coming back in. And we did x-rays, and the fracture was completely healed. You cannot see any trace of it. So as she was here learning to fly, she was very strong, and she had a presence, and we felt really obligated to give her a Potawatomi name. So we initially named her Panojes, which means baby in Potawatomi. She was our youngest eagle, and she ran the roost, though. So.
Okay, how would you describe Jess?
Well, like I said, she was very strong, and I guess you would say she was kind of like our teenagers, if you will. She would go to the other adults, and they would let her take their food because that's what adult eagles do in the wild. Mm-hmm. So she was just had a huge presence. Any of our members, and I know yourself saw her in our enclosures, she was definitely a presence. Would let you know when you walked up, she would vocalize with you. So there's an emptiness here, but we are excited to get her back out in the wild. So.
Yes, she definitely had a presence, that's for sure. What led you to believe that she would be releasable?
Well, as she basically, like I said, learned to fly because she was so young, even without an injury, she was just learning to fly. And we work with a vet, OSU vet, and we caught them up 3 or 4 times last year, and we did West Nile vaccinations. In catching them up, we always looked at her wing and took new photographs. And as all those primaries started growing back in, she started flying further and further, and we had assumed there might be some tissue damage, which means feathers could not grow back in. The actual follicle would be damaged, but she grew them all back in. She has both full wings now, and she started flying and turning and going back and forth in our aviary, so we then knew she was strong enough that she could fly well enough to be released.
Since she was originally categorized as non-releasable, what all did you have to go through to get her ready to be released into the wild?
Well, that's a great question because it was a lot of work in conjunction with a partnership with Fish and Wildlife and also the Comanche Aviary. We worked with the vet and, like I said, re-x-rayed that, and x-rays come out good. We then put her on a line to exercise her just to make sure she had plenty of muscles. But we had to, like you said, we had to go to Fish and Wildlife to get the actual permit or permission to release her. Normally, you would take a bird back to where they originally came from, which was in Florida. Mm-hmm. But being that she was not an adult, had not chosen a mate yet, wasn't nesting, she actually had been in Oklahoma longer than Florida. So through consulting and with the help of Mr. Bill Volker, we were able to explain to Fish and Wildlife the situation that we would like for her to be released here. That's where she's comfortable. It's where she knows. So with their help, they, for the first time ever that I know of, gave our CPN Aviary the permission to release an eagle in Oklahoma from Florida. And as far as I know, that hasn't happened since they were doing the eagle releases way back in the 80s, trying to get the bald eagle presence back here. So,
Jennifer, what makes this release so special for the CPN Aviary?
Well, not only does it directly going to bless our tribe, just to get that messenger back out for us, to be able to carry our prayers up there is a big thing. But also, we are the first ever Native American aviary to put telemetry on her. We will be able to track her for up to 3 or 4 years. The telemetry is made of a material that will actually break down eventually. It will not hinder her whatsoever. She'll continue to molt and do everything an eagle will do, but we'll be able to see where she's at, down to the tree she's sitting in, or whether she goes back to Florida, or hopefully stays right here, or she could even go to the Great Lakes. Eagles, migrate, and they migrate long distances. On sending her out and it being such a blessing to our tribe, and these eagles work so hard for us, they're our warriors. We have chose with the help of you guys and the Heritage Center, we have Randy and Language found a new name for her, and we would like to send her off in a good way, and a stronger name rather than just, Pinot Jess. It was a great name when she was here and she was baby, but we wanted to give her a name which I understand means brave. Brave breakthrough, and so she has come from such injuries and non-releasable and broke through. We definitely want her to be brave as she goes out there. So I want to make sure I say this right with Kelly. Tell me one more time.
Wadase Zabwe.
Wadase Zabwe. We actually just discovered this would be the perfect name for her today. So I'm still learning about all this, but I want to send her out the right way.
Absolutely. Do eagles usually get released with telemetry? And if not, why did you feel it was so important to put telemetry on her before you release her?
No, unfortunately, due to a lot of times due to funding, or obviously sometimes you don't want to know if it's bad news. It was very important to us, along with our tribal leaders, to put this telemetry on her so we could see if she stays in one spot for a little while or she gets grounded. We could actually go re-rescue her, if you will. But people. I don't want to talk illy of anyone, but they don't put telemetry on birds or wildlife because, we don't know what those results will be. We hope they're all good, but we wanted to make sure about our CPN eagle, that she's out there and she's strong and she's doing well. So it's very important to us.
Well, Jennifer, thank you very much. As a tribal member, I'm really excited to have Wadase Zabwe up there for us, for all of our nation. So thank you so much from the CPN Eagle Aviary.